Unleashed. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Matt Demaz here, and welcome to episode 12 of the Matt Demaz Unleashed podcast. So, let's talk about Zelda. Zelda is a video game franchise that I have a great deal of respect for. It's it's one of those franchises that has just touched so many people and, changed the gaming industry, and it's just been one of those massive, IPs that has just been there, ever since the dawn of, video gaming and at home and whatnot. Well, I should say, Nintendo, ever since Nintendo's, initial, complete domination of the home console market. If we really look back at all of these games, it's really mind-boggling that the series has gone on as long as it has. I mean, 30 plus years is nothing to scoff at. If you look at the original game from 1986, and then you look at Breath of the Wild that came out in 2017, it's like, whew. It's just freaking just nuts how far we've come. So I do feel so I might as well just tell you guys my experiences with Zelda, The Legend of Zelda, and just to give you an idea of how I feel about the series in general, and and all that stuff. So let's dial it back to 2003. Yeah, I was relatively late to the party. The first Zelda game I ever played was Ocarina of Time in 2003. No, not on the GameCube, not the GameCube version. I don't think was it out. I think it was out. I don't know, on the GameCube as well or something. But I don't know, whatever. But I I actually got it for the N64 in 2003. And that was the first Zelda game I ever played, and it really blew my mind. It's weird when you think about it, because it was 2003. The GameCube was out and the Wind Waker was out and all that shit, and it's like, here I am just playing Ocarina of Time, which is like, came out in 1998, I felt so behind. But when I played Ocarina for the first time, man, I gotta tell you what, I was absolutely captivated. From the very first dungeon to, the final fight with Ganon, it was a wicked, wild ride. Oh, man. I still remember those days, man, going to school and then printing out those sheets and sheets of glitches and whatnot, and then coming home and, trying them all out, and, printing out the heart container locations, golden skull tool locations. All that. It was good fun, man, back then. I got really good memories from that era. It was good, man. I thoroughly enjoyed playing Ocarina of Time. It's very nostalgic to me as a video game. It's a very nostalgic video game to me. I just played it over and over because I loved it so much. It was such a technological accomplishment for the hardware. It looked so damn good that I didn't even care about not having a PS2. I'm like, fuck, I want to play Ocarina of Time again, But yeah, I mean, I was behind when it came to consoles, but I had a PC around that era, I think, and it was pretty decent. But, console gaming was still pretty wicked. I mean, the PS2 was starting to build up this insanely, this incredible library of games and whatnot, and exclusive games as well. And it's like, console gaming was still kind of like a big deal back then. It's not like now how everyone's like PC Master Race, what are you, a console peasant, blah, blah, blah. It was still kind of a big deal because a serious gaming PC in like 2001 or whatever was like, Yeah, it's a couple of paychecks. It costed a fair amount to get like the bleeding edge shit, or even something that was worth a damn that could run Half-Life or Deus Ex or a lot of the PC games that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. But it was a very interesting time to be a fan of video games, because there was this huge transitional thing going on from we were going from like the N64 and PS1 to like the PS2, GameCube, Xbox, and it was just the jump was absolutely staggering. But that being said, here I am with my N64 playing Ocarina of Time, and I got to tell you, man, that experience, it was magical. Um, it was just nothing else like it. I just loved it immensely. Believe it, I actually bought the game from a secondhand store, cash converters, and it was only $20. And the guy that owned the cartridge, apparently his name was Brendan, I guess, because he had 3 of his save files on the cartridge. So, but yeah, I had the golden cartridge, version 1.1, the PAL version. And it was a good time, man. It was, I used to love just messing around with the game. I remember even trying the crooked cartridge thing to try to get past that guy that was blocking my way to the Hyrule Field or whatever in the Kokiri Forest. There was just so much stuff you could do that just made the game so entertaining. Like, you can just fuck with the, the physics and, like, clip through walls and stuff, and swordless Link thing where you can just go absolutely apeshit. It was just hilarious. I loved it. Another thing I really love about Ocarina of Time is like the atmosphere. The music was really good too. Like, it's so, oh man, I love the Spirit Temple's music. Like, it's so awesome, man. I love those pads and that horn instrument, whatever that is called, that plays. It's so, oh man, it's so awesome. Um, yeah, the atmospheric pieces in Ocarina of Time are so memorable. Like the dungeon where it's like makes that weird rumbling noise where it's like it's so creepy, but it's so cool. Um, yeah, there's some weird thing about the Fire Temple that I think everyone knows at this point, but actually they had to change the Fire Temple's music in the updated versions of the game, like 1.1 or whatever, because originally they sampled like Muslim chanting or something. I forget, but yeah, and early yeah, it's pretty weird. I think the version of the game I had still had the Islamic symbol on the shield and all that, so I'm guessing they didn't change that until 1.2 or whatever. But yeah, I think the original version of the game had the chanting and the Islamic symbol. I don't know, man. I don't see the big deal really, but obviously some people were really outraged by it, and it is what it is. I mean, I do kind of understand it. I mean, certain religions, they take pride in their religion and they don't like it being quote unquote disrespected, I guess. I don't know. I just don't, I never really saw the issue, but obviously it's an issue to some people, and I guess, whatever. Yeah, so after I played Ocarina of Time for the first time, I think it was 2000 and, was it 4 or 5? I'm just gonna say, 2005, I guess. Was it late 2005? Or early 2005? I don't know. It was somewhere around that time. It might have been late 2004, I'm pretty sure. I actually bought A Link to the Past and The Four Swords on the Game Boy Advance, and I played the hell out of that. And because I'm just coming off Ocarina of Time or whatever, I'm like, hey, this is just like Ocarina of Time. And my dumb ass had no idea that basically Ocarina of Time was Linked to the Past in 3D, more or less. So I'm like, hey, they just rip, they're just doing, I had no idea that Link to the Past came before it. But Zelda as a franchise, it took me a while to catch on to it, but when I did, I just latched onto that. And Link to the Past was great. It was really good fun. I used to love playing that. Um, yeah, and with the Four Swords game, I actually played with my friend Christian Savage. I haven't seen him in such a long time now. I don't know what he's up to, but he's kind of just vanished. I don't know. I checked up on his Facebook a couple of times, and then it disappeared again. I don't know where he is or what he calls himself now, but whatever. He's doing his thing, I guess. But yeah, me and him, we both liked playing Zelda together and all that, and that was pretty cool. But anyway, that was the thing, and then I want to say when Twilight Princess was rolling around the court, was rolling into onto the Wii and the GameCube or whatever it was on. I kind of tuned out. I didn't really play Twilight Princess back then. I don't think. I think I've caught a glimpse of it here or there. I was tuned out of console gaming around this time because of after the travesty of Sonic 06, I was kind of like, I'm done. And I think Twilight Princess came out a few days after Sonic 06 dropped, so, I was kind of just, yeah, I've had enough of console gaming for a little bit, Also, around late 2006 was a pretty shitty time for me personally because I graduated high school and had to leave my friends behind, and top it all off, I had Sonic 06, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go back to RuneScape and Warcraft, just go back to PC gaming. But yeah, when I eventually went to play Twilight Princess, it ended up becoming one of my favorite games as well, so yeah, that was cool. I really loved Zelda. I used to draw comics and stuff, and I just have fun with it. It's fun being a fan of something, that you like or love. In my case, I love Zelda as a franchise, always will. It's just been one of those things that just really, struck a chord with me, But, yeah, that's basically it, really. I didn't really play, can't say I played anything else besides between the release of Twilight Princess and Hyrule Warriors. I don't think I played any of the games. I didn't play the Hourglass, Phantom Hourglass, or Spirit Tracks. Yeah, it was until A Link Between Worlds came out and I was interested again, and then finally, Breath of the Wild comes out and it's like, all right, and so I played Hyrule Warriors and then Breath of the Wild because I really liked Hyrule Warriors. I was like, wow, because I was getting all hyped up for the next gen Zelda, so I was just waiting for the next gen Zelda to come around the corner. But Breath of the Wild again just just reminded me how much Breath of the Wild was just another game that I really enjoyed. Like, it was I put a good 200, 300 hours into that. That was a really good fun. It was really, 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 really very massive, big scale. It's incredible. So yeah, that's basically my experiences with Zelda in a nutshell. Oh yeah, of course. Throughout that time period, I went back and played the older games on emulators and whatnot. I played the original Zelda for a little bit. Didn't really like it that much. I don't know. It's just really archaic. Like, you kind of need a guide to know what to do. Second game, same kind of deal. I mean, it is kind of grind heavy as well. So, first and second game, I wouldn't call them, like, fantastic games. They're kind of just really dated now. But Link to the Past is still really fun to play, and Ocarina of Time is definitely still really fun to play. I mean, shit, I did a full Let's Play of it on my channel recently, live on stream. 2 streams. and that was good. Majora's Mask is another game that I actually revisited. Actually, I played Majora's Mask for the first time in 2008. Yeah, I forgot to mention that on an emulator, and I really enjoyed it. I'm like, shit. I mean, I can't believe I missed out on this. It was really good to play that, and then I finally did that Let's Play on my channel as well. So, but yeah, it's if I had to rank my favorite games, I'd definitely put shit. I want to say Ocarina of Time, obviously, but it would just seem like such a cliche thing to call Ocarina of Time my favorite game. But you know what? It is, But as much as I really enjoyed Majora's Mask, I can always go back to Ocarina of Time to get that injection of nostalgia, and that's basically what that's what I base my choice on, just nostalgia, really. And it's basically a fantastically crafted game, and they did something really, really, really tricky. They managed to, transition Zelda into the third dimension seamlessly, and it was just magnificent how they managed to pull that off. And that alone it garners the accolades. That alone makes the game very much deserving of all the praise it gets. Yeah, it's weird, man. The game's the thing that kind of started to really irritate me though is like, as time was going by and the internet was starting to develop, and then you had people on forums talking to one another and whatnot, is when people were just fighting over the Zelda timeline. It's like, the original creators of the game didn't really have a timeline planned, I don't think. Or, well, they had a story, they had a general, you had a general idea of what to expect from each game. You got Link, you got Zelda, you got Ganon. But, it kind of feels like almost each game is like its own unique experience. I say almost because, Wind Waker is a direct sequel of, was it Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask? I don't know. It's a direct sequel of one of those games. And, well, of course, Majora's Mask is actually a direct sequel of Ocarina of Time. But it's such a, it's, I don't know, man. I don't see the point of a timeline, quite honestly. It just drives me mental because there's so many things that can go wrong when you try to make a timeline. It just gives me a headache. Yeah, Zelda has definitely impacted, the industry. It's one of the big IPs, It's up there with Sonic, Mario, and it's incredible. I got so many memories of Ocarina of Time and playing it for the first time. It's just overwhelming. I remember the first time I encountered the the Redeads in the Royal Family Tomb. Absolutely terrifying. It's funny how like a G-rated game can actually scare the shit out of me. That's what I really liked about it. The fact that it was edgy, it had balls, but it still had this kind of family friendly aura around it. But hey, that's what I really enjoyed that. And it didn't have to be all kitty. It could be dark. It could be moody. The bosses could be badass looking, even though they're pretty much cakewalks in that game. But yeah, it's funny, man, because the first time I played the game, it's kind of just like you're transported to this world, and it's all these characters, all these people, you got this huge field to run around, and it was such an enjoyable experience, playing Ocarina of Time for the first time. It's one of those things that I'll probably remember for the rest of my life. Just the feeling of just experiencing this for the first time, way past it the game's prime, because it was 2003, people were playing Wind Waker. So, but it was just, it was just so, there used to be these websites, like on Angel Fire, GeoCities or whatever, they'd be like, where they have like glitches and secrets and stuff. But I used to just use the school computer, school print, used to go into a room where there was some computers and get on there and search these websites, look up these websites, and then print out the stuff that's on the sites with the printer, and take the sheets home, and mess around with all the glitches and all the secrets and whatnot, and look up all download the list of heart container locations, skull tool locations, and all that, and use those documents to help me find everything when I get home. I'll tell you a funny story. I actually I actually went over my printing balance on my account, and teachers weren't too happy about that. They're like, how you printed out like 100 pages this month? And I'm like, yeah. Went way over my balance, and they were just, I just said it, I did it for Zelda. and one of the teachers that was like a gamer, and I used to talk to him about games and stuff. He was like, all right, man, you're good. He understood, from one game into another, he let me off the hook. He could have punished me then. He could have like suspended my computer use, but he didn't. What a guy, I don't even remember that guy's name. I wish I could. But yeah, it was weird, man, growing up. It felt like there was some old people, there's some grown-ups and teachers that were pretty hip, and then there was some real boomers. It was kind of a mixed bag at my high school. But yeah, I'm trying to remember the name. I just cannot remember for the life of me. He's the guy that actually came up with my name, Demaz. Well, I mean, it is technically my name, my middle name, but he kind of just made it my rap name. He was like, Matt Demaz. I'm like, hey, I like that, Well, back then, anyway, when I actually, I don't really, and he made it my music name or whatever, alias. He's like, how about Matt Demaz? And he's like, oh, yeah, that's good, Yeah, so, I owe a lot to this anonymous teacher that I don't even remember. But he saved my ass a few times. It was fun just fucking around with that stuff, man. Just going home and then just, curling over in my room with my standard def TV, flicking through all these pieces of paper of all these glitches and be like, right, let's do the swordless link thing. Okay, so what do we have to do? All right, so we have to do this and that, and then play a song as an ocarina or whatever or some shit. I used to have so much fun just doing that. Spend hours messing around with the game. It's funny because it's it's developers' job to actually iron out all the glitches and bugs. But the funny thing is, because this game is so bugged and broken, that's what makes it so fun to play. As when you finish the game and you've done everything, it's like, well, let's mess around with glitches, and it just extends the your playtime. It's insane. That's what I really loved about it, and it kind of became like a thing, like with all the games. Shit, there was even glitches in Link to the Past, if I recall correctly. Glitches in Zelda games are kind of infamous. Like it's kind of like a trope. Like every single game I think has at least one glitch, which is like just And when Ocarina of Time is what got me interested in breaking rules and finding glitches in video games, because I'd play another N64 game, like I wonder if I can clip through the wall like I can do in Ocarina of Time, and sure enough you can actually do that in some games, and it was just so much fun. It was, oh man, it was just unbelievable. I'll always remember those times, man. Yeah, the the franchise has definitely been, through highs and lows. Lowe's, I think you know what I'm referring to, the CDI stuff, which spawned an infamous series of YouTube poops on YouTube. That was some good times, man. I remember when I first joined YouTube in 2007, like, that shit was looted everywhere, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh, man. It was a great time to be, on YouTube. I'll tell you that much. The Legend of Zelda is just one of those it's an incredible franchise, you know. Um it's got such a long history, and it's evolved over the last 30 plus years into something, that's still good. The Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games, you know. Um the impact that the game has had on the gaming industry have, these Zelda games has inspired so many people, and what's his name from Rockstar Games? Dan Houser. He said something like, anyone who makes 3D games who says they've not borrowed something from Mario or Zelda on the N64 is lying. And he's not wrong. It's pretty funny. And also, Sam Houser also said, Grand Theft Auto 3 is basically Zelda meets Goodfellas. And Akami, I don't know if you guys have played the game Akami. Hideki Kamiya actually said that he was heavily influenced by The Legend of Zelda when he developed Akami. He actually cited A Link to the Past as his favorite game of all time, which is pretty sweet. It's there's definitely some Zelda influence in Akami. I've yet to play that. I really need to get around to playing that. It looks fun. Anyway, I gotta tell you, man, that Zelda is definitely a thing, and it's gonna stay a thing for probably. It's gonna keep staying a thing. It's gonna stick around. I think as long as Nintendo is still killing it with with consoles and making money, I don't think Zelda will be going anywhere. And I hope not. I want to see some more games come out. I want to experience some more, exciting adventures. We'll just have to see. Anyway, guys, that's just a quick little, I guess, retrospective. I might do another one of these after this. I gotta think about what I'm gonna do next. I might kind of want to get back to wrestling or something, but I do want to cover some more gaming franchises. Zelda it definitely has been a huge influence on me when it comes to gaming. Like, I can always go back and play Ocarina of Time. I can always play any Zelda game, really, and just try to experience them, again, or for the first time. I've actually not played the the Seasons games. I need to play those, I need to play some of the 3DS games as well, too, so, I'll get around to it. But, for now, I guess I'll just wait for Breath of the Wild 2 to come out, and just, yeah. Anyway, guys, I guess that'll do it. Thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.